IGF-1 can increase height. But here's the part nobody tells you. For most people using it, it does absolutely nothing. And in some cases, using it the wrong way can permanently cost you height. That's why you'll see two very different outcomes with this peptide. One grows, the other wastes money, time, and months of effort. And it's not genetics, it's not luck, it's timing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which category you fall into, whether IGF-1 can still help you, or whether you've been chasing it in the wrong way this entire time. Because IGF-1 isn't magic, it's a signal. And signals only work when the body is in the right biological state to receive them. In this video, I'm going to break down what IGF-1 actually does, how it works with growth hormone, why it can add real height before puberty, and why after that point, most people completely misunderstand it. If you've ever searched for height growth, considered peptides, or felt like your body missed its window, this will save you time, money, and a lot of frustration. Let's start with what IGF-1 really is, and why almost everyone gets it wrong. IGF-1 stands for insulin-like growth factor 1. It's a hormone produced mainly in the liver, released in response to growth hormone, HGH. Here's the simplest way to understand the relationship. Growth hormone is the command. IGF-1 is the execution. HGH tells the body to grow. IGF-1 is what actually builds tissue. Without IGF-1, HGH doesn't do much for height. IGF-1 travels through your bloodstream and binds to receptors in bone, cartilage, and muscle. This is where growth becomes real and measurable. So when people talk about height hormones, IGF-1 is the one that actually matters. But here's the first critical point. IGF-1 does not work in a vacuum. It only works when the tissue it's signaling can still respond. That distinction changes everything. To understand IGF-1, you need to understand growth plates. Growth plates, also called epiphyseal plates, are zones of cartilage at the ends of long bones. They exist during childhood and adolescence, and they are the only reason bone lengthening is possible. Here's how height growth works. Cartilage cells multiply. That cartilage expands. Then the body gradually hardens it into bone. That process repeats again and again until growth plates close. IGF-1 plays a direct role in every step of this cycle. It stimulates cartilage cells. It increases cartilage proliferation. It supports ossification, the conversion of cartilage into bone. So when growth plates are open, IGF-1 has a direct pathway to increasing height. Clinical evidence is very clear here. Children with low IGF-1 levels often have short stature and delayed growth. When IGF-1 levels are restored under medical supervision, growth velocity increases and height outcomes improve. So far, everything sounds promising. But this is where the conversation splits in two. If your growth plates are still open, IGF-1 is extremely powerful. During childhood and adolescence, growth plates are active. Cartilage is responsive. Bone lengthening is still possible. In this phase, IGF-1 doesn't just support growth, it drives it. That's why children with growth hormone, or IGF-1 deficiencies, are treated with recombinant IGF-1. Height velocity increases, bone length increases, growth trajectories can change permanently. This is real medicine, this is well documented, and this is not controversial. If you are still growing, IGF-1 matters more than almost anything else related to height. But this is also where the biggest misunderstanding begins, because what works here does not translate the same way later. Once growth plates fuse, bone lengthening stops. For most people, this happens in the late teens or early 20s. At that point, the cartilage zones disappear. Long bones can no longer lengthen. IGF-1 no longer has a direct mechanism to increase height. This is where most people feel cheated. They hear about IGF-1. They hear about peptides. They assume the same rules still apply. They don't. This is why so many adults say, "I tried everything and nothing worked." But here's the part almost nobody explains properly. Even after growth plates close, IGF-1 is still biologically important, just not for bone length. After growth plates close, IGF-1 no longer makes bones longer. but it still affects bone density, cartilage health, connective tissue, joint spacing, recovery from microdamage. And this matters more than people realize, because height isn't just bone length, it's also spinal disc height, postural alignment, compression versus decompression. This is where the confusion comes from. Adults who gain height are not growing new bone. They are improving structure, and IGF-1 plays a supporting role in that process. This is where the MDSD framework comes in, not as magic, not as loopholes, as optimization. MDSD stands for microfracture, decompression, stretching, discipline. Small controlled stress on the skeleton through jumping, sprinting, or resistance training. Then decompression, hanging, stretching, posture work. Then recovery, supported by sleep, nutrition, and hormones like IGF-1. This creates an environment where bone remodels, discs rehydrate, postural height is preserved or slightly improved. IGF-1 doesn't create height here. It supports recovery and tissue adaptation. That distinction is critical. Now let's talk about peptides. IGF-1 LR3, mecasermin. These compounds mimic IGF-1 in the body. In children with deficiencies, they are effective. Height velocity increases, bone growth improves. In adults, bone length does not increase. What does improve? Bone density, soft tissue repair, joint resilience. This is why peptides feel powerful, and also why so many people are disappointed. They expect bone growth. They get recovery support. So when the bone growth doesn't happen, that's not failure. That's misunderstanding. IGF-1 isn't only influenced by injections. Your body produces it naturally. Protein intake matters. Micronutrients matter. Sleep quality matters. So does exercise. Sprinting and interval training increase HGH and IGF-1. Resistance training improves IGF-1 signaling. Jumping stresses bones in a way that supports remodeling. Height optimization isn't about one hormone. It's about environment. Before anyone thinks, I'll just take IGF-1, this needs to be clear. This is not biohacking. This is medicine. Potential risks include hypoglycemia, joint pain, soft tissue swelling, organ enlargement, increased cancer risk with misuse. Medical supervision matters. Using peptides without understanding timing, dosage, and biological context is how people get hurt. IGF-1 is not magic. It is powerful, but only under the right conditions. Before growth plates close, it can change height trajectory. After growth plates close, it supports structure, recovery, and posture, not bone length. Most people fail with IGF-1 because they misunderstand when and how it works. Timing, signals, and behavior matter far more than most people realize. And understanding that difference is what saves you years of frustration. If this video helped clear that up for you, leave a like. It tells me this kind of deep, science-based breakdown is worth making more of. And if you want more videos like this, no hype, no shortcuts, just real biology, subscribe, because genetics aren't the full story.